Welcome, everybody. Mohawk Matt once again bringing you these awesome scientists and engineers from across the Navy and the Marine Corps. And I think they're pretty cool, mostly because they are way smarter than me. So today I have got someone really exciting. I've got Aamir Qaiyumi. Aamir, what's happening?
How's it going? Doing well over here.
That's awesome. You're out in Washington, right?
That's right.
That's fantastic. I love your shirt. And I know you got a story behind it. We're going to go into that later, but I just think it's an awesome shirt.
Thank you.
Definitely, definitely. So Amir here, first of all, is an awesome human. Second of all, he is a smart dude. And I know that because I'm not, and he's saying words that I don't even understand. So, but I'm sure a lot of you will understand that. So, but Amir, you are the, um, I actually just forgot what your title is, so I'm going to have you say it.
So I'm a technology lead for autonomy for unmanned systems,
Perfect.
basically making robots smart.
Making, I'm going to get a little nervous. Like,
Not too smart.
we're not talking like Terminator smart.
We're still a little ways away from that.
Okay. Okay. Good. Well, that's really cool. I mean, obviously, anything for me, I think here autonomy. I think robots. I mean, the closest thing to robot I have is a little thing that cleans my floor. Uh,
That's a good example.
so very cool. So what's going on? What do you do in autonomy right now in the Navy Marine Corps?
So right now we are trying to get them to do smart things. We're trying to mostly what I do is what's called unmanned maritime systems. So they're robot boats and robot submarines essentially that go out and we're looking for things in the water. You remember the Malaysian air flight that went down a few years ago? That's
Yep.
the type of craft that would go that deep and try and map the area and find it and making them smarter and smarter so they can do that.
Okay. And when you say smarter, what do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean by making a robot smart? Like,
So normally what we do is you set up the robot, you program a set of a mission, and it would go do exactly this: one, two, three, four, five, and keep
yeah.
going. We're trying to make them to where they can make a few decisions on their own. Think of a self-driving car, right? Right
Okay.
now, you have driver assist, and you have a lot of systems that will help you and kind of, hey, you're changing lanes, you shouldn't be. There's a car there. Start that. That's a little bit of automation. Start making that a little more intelligent to where you get where Tesla's going, which is you can not yet, but you can start sitting back and allowing it to get there.
Yeah.
You've seen it in a lot of movies. You've seen it in a lot of places.
Sure.
That's a great example of what we're trying to do on the surface and underwater.
That's very cool. How did you get here? Was there like a 3-year-old Amir just be like, man, one day I'm gonna make things smarter. I'm gonna make robots smarter than I am, or how'd you get to where you are?
Ironically, I started down a different path. It was
Okay.
actually a 5-year-old me wanting to go into space, uh, and
Ooh,
so wanted to be an astronaut.
awesome.
Um, and I, was in school, going to school, undergrad, and was exposed to some unmanned systems. It was a robotics class that I took, and I decided to go to grad school and continue
Okay.
doing that. Competed in an underwater vehicle competition a couple times, and really got excited about it. And then
Yeah.
someone from the Navy came and said, "Hey, we'll offer you a lot more money to do the same thing, play with toys and bigger and better toys." I said, "Okay, sign me up." It
That's
was
that's like a perfect fit for you.
it was a lot of fun. It's funny. It started out going to go into space, ended up kind of going underwater, and I feel like we're kind of coming full circle. I've been following a lot of things happening with NASA going to
Yeah.
basically their version of an underwater vehicle, going to another moon, go to Europa, I think it is, to do undersea or under, I'm going to say water. I think it's liquid methane to do the same type of thing to map it out and see what's down there.
That is pretty cool to see that like things that you're working on. I say we, not me. Things you are working on in the Navy and the Marine Corps are also being applied to like space. There's so many. I mean, yeah, robot boats is one thing, but there's so many applications for autonomy and making things smarter.
Well, and you see it other places too. I mean, a lot of airplanes have autopilots, and a lot of
Yeah,
ships now, cargo ships are doing a lot of autopilot to help the human just have less errors. And then doing things out in the ocean for the Naval Oceanographic Atmospheric Administration, we're mapping scallop beds with these systems and helping to improve the fisheries, improve the environment out there for the same work. It's the same technology applied a slightly different way.
okay. That's really cool. What are you doing? Like, what are some of the, if you can share some of the things you're working on related to making robots smarter right now?
Mapping the seafloor.
Okay,
We look at Google Maps and we see all the different terrain features they put on there. They're starting to do the same thing underwater. A lot of the data from these systems is going straight to feed that. One of the great experiences I had was being able to. It's allowed me to travel a lot, going to Croatia and seeing
cool.
how we use these to find um, undersea mines that were left over from World War II that are still out there.
Wow.
So you've got 60-year-old mines that are dangerous, and divers are trying to find them. We try to figure out, hey, can we get rid of these things without someone getting hurt?
Yeah.
At the same time, we were also mapping the seafloor and mapping the spread of seagrass that was an invasive species.
Okay. Wow. So recently I saw something online, or on the news. I think it was where they were like taking the crash of the Titanic and like actually showing it what it looked like on land. And I think that's by like mapping a seafloor type. I imagine you're probably using something like that to get that deep to capture some of that. Is that right? On wrong?
That's a lot of similar. That's a lot of similar technology, actually. The sonar and the sensors that are used for that are the systems that we put on our unmanned systems to do the same type of work.
Okay.
A lot of that is also remotely operated, but that's what we're trying to shift to, is from a human controlling it and driving it around remotely to the vehicle being able to make some of those decisions on its own, because it's right there in the environment. It can say, hey, I'm getting pushed to the side by a current. I'm going to adjust and get a better video or better image for what you need to do exactly what you just described, to map that out and give a really good 3D image.
Well, and I mean, the good thing that I think of is a robot doesn't get sick. If you go underwater for too long, you don't get
No,
pressure sickness, and so that's a good thing.
absolutely. Even mapping some of the harbors that are out there. Hey, we've had some things spill, or we had a plane go down. We can go look for it. Those are all, they can sit out there for hours and hours, maybe even days, and go do that in fairly adverse weather conditions, because the weather underneath the sea is very different than the weather up top, and they can go
Yeah,
do it without us having to be there.
yeah, that's really cool. So Amir, where is this going? Like, where do you see this in 10, 15, 20 years? Just smart robots and we just sit back and sleep all day, or what do you think is going to be happening?
Kind of the Wally model. No, I think that they are tools to help us learn a lot more about what's happening, what's going on in the environment. As I mentioned, some of the fisheries, understanding the health. Are we overfishing? Are the scallop beds healthy?
Sure.
What's happening down there? What's really going on? Helping us to get a better understanding of what's going on in the world around us. Helping us keep humans safe, which is a huge deal. Some of the underwater
Yes.
mines that are out there. And then, as I mentioned, going out into space and exploring. I mean, I'd love to see something go into the cloud. What if we drop something into the great spot on Jupiter and let it fly around and tell us what's happening there? I mean, I could see that happening. I see that also happening with things like the NASA robots that are going up to Mars and exploring. I mean, obviously, there are a lot of sci-fi happening here,
Yeah.
but we're trying to make the sci-fi a reality,
Well,
and it's really exciting to try and do that.
Well, and I think the more you make sci-fi reality, the more you fulfill that 5-year-old Amir that's like, I'm gonna go to space one
Yeah,
day. You may not be going to space, but your technology could.
yeah, absolutely, very much so, and that's one of the exciting things, is just to see it go out there and make a difference. Um, it's just so much fun to see that, and just say, hey, I had a part in that.
That's awesome. That's really cool, and I'm sure very rewarding too. So Amir, what about like you've worked for the Navy and Marine Corps for quite a while? What about any cool experiences that you've had throughout your time there?
I'd say my favorite experience is the student competitions.
Okay.
Being able to I competed in them, and it's kind of what got me where I am as a
Yeah.
starting point. Give me some hands-on experience that is unique. It's a really unique opportunity. Going out there, I've been fortunate enough to be able to lead student competitions. There are now
Awesome.
underwater and robo boat, robo sub, and the one that I run, Robot X. So I designed these challenges, and it's a multi-domain challenge. So you've got a robot boat with a robot submarine, with a robot aircraft, working together as a team to do a mission. Whether it's a
Yeah.
simulated rescue mission in a dangerous environment, hey, you've got an oil spill or an oil rig that blew up. Can we get something out there where humans can't go and save the people? Can you, do things like that? So we design challenges, and that's really exciting for me to give back, to see the next generation of STEM students coming out there doing the projects, finding new solutions that we didn't think were possible, honestly.
Yeah.
And just really seeing the creativity and the excitement. This shirt is a direct representation of that, the RoboNation competitions, and that's
Okay.
a passion for me to go out there and really interact with the students, college students, high school students, middle school students, even on some of these, going
Yeah.
out there and going toe to toe with each other and really changing the dynamic and the technology at the same time, becoming the next generation, the people who are going to come back after me and do it, even take it even further.
That's incredible. And right there, he's talking to you. Those of you who are like taking notes, like I'm going to write this paper on what Navy and Marine Corps is up to. He just spoke to you directly. You are the future. Amir's working it now, and he's the one that's got the cool Hawaiian shirts right now. But you yourself could get a cool Hawaiian shirt. Maybe if the competition in Hawaii, I don't know. I'm not the shirt making guy. You'll have to talk to
This
Amir.
one was in Hawaii, so yeah, it's a lot of
Ah,
fun. Singapore, Hawaii, we've been a couple places.
cool. That's really awesome. So Amir, what else do you want to share about autonomy, make a robot smarter? What else is important for people to know?
It's a changing field. It's a wide open area. There's a lot of people looking to do it. It's not just robots, honestly. There's a lot of pieces that fit there. I mentioned self-driving cars earlier. That's an
Yeah.
area. Same basic technology applied in a different area, right?
Okay.
You've got aircraft doing it, unmanned air vehicles. You've got, for drones. You've got self-driving cars. All those areas are using it, and space, underwater, above water, on land, just all over the place. The autonomy is needed. The sensing and perception is needed to support it. So better sensors, better the better you can see it, the better you can react to it or adjust to it. Those are
Yeah.
all big areas. It's so exciting because it's so dynamic. It's changing on a daily basis. I'm constantly having to keep up with everything, which is so much fun to see so many new things happening. And so many of the folks who are in these competitions, honestly, I get to direct view into what they're doing and how they're changing the world in real time. And the autonomy piece of it is very new, as represented by my the position I've just taken is a very new one.
Yeah. That's really cool. What I really love about what you've kind of talked about this whole time and the autonomy is that I so like I mentioned Terminator in the beginning, a lot of people that don't understand it, like myself, have that fear of that artificial intelligence, robots taking over, or just that people could lose their jobs. Not once did you talk about that. You talked about safety, keeping people alive, doing things that humans can't do. I think that's the really cool thing to hone in on is you're not trying to put anybody out of work. You're trying to make us safer, help us explore places we haven't been able to do before. And that's just fantastic.
Oh, it's exciting. It's an amazing area to be in.
Excellent.
It's
So
playing with toys.
go ahead.
It really is just playing with toys
Playing with
in
who
so
doesn't
many ways.
love playing with toys? That's fantastic. That's dream job. So 5-year-old Amir is still happy.
Oh, absolutely. He gets to go out on the water and play with the toys.
That's excellent. So Amir, lastly, is there if there's someone that's watching this like I want to get into autonomy, I just don't know how to get into it. What's your advice for someone that wants to get into it?
Honestly, one of the areas I think would be great is look at these competitions. There are all kinds of student competitions out there. The
Okay.
community is amazing. They help each other out, and it really is a great open door that opens up. It opens up a lot of doors. Actually, it really just kind of exposes you to a whole different area of development and collaboration. We call it cooperation. So you're cooperating and you're competing at the same time, and you're really just learning from each other. And the students are from all over the world. Um, I think we had 19 different countries represented last time,
Wow.
and it's just so amazing to see them work together and build that community. And it's hands-on experience. It's invaluable experience when you're going to look for a job, when you're going to do something uh, in the real world. You're doing it already. It's
That
what got me started. Is that hands-on experience.
that's awesome. And I really liked what you said about opening doors because we haven't mentioned it yet, but you got one of your degrees from Naval Postgraduate School,
Absolutely.
which was something that was funded by your job as a Navy Marine Corps research lab or
Oh yeah.
research person, right?
Yes, they had an opportunity, and they said, well, we're going to put 10 of you through a master's program if you're interested. and they paid for it. They gave me
Man,
time, paid time on the clock at work to do the work, to do the master's work.
what a great program. That's awesome.
Kind of hard to pass that up.
Yeah, that's great.
Do what you love doing.
Definitely, definitely. Well, Aamir, thank you so much for joining us today, and really thanks for kind of you taught me a lot because, like I said, I know very little about science and I know nothing about autonomy other than when my robot vacuum cleaner dies, I got to plug him in. That, that's about all I know. So thanks for joining us, Aamir.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. You guys heard some awesome technology that Amir's working on in the Navy and the Marine Corps, and even some stuff that could be going to space. But Amir's not going to be doing this forever. Where do you guys think this is going, and where do you want to take this? He talked about some things he's working on and where he thinks it's going, but it's really up to you. So excited to hear what you guys have to say about it, and thanks for tuning in.